Sometimes the things we can't see are really right in front of us the whole time. Like that thumbs up or that subscribe button. They're there, they're right there, but just gotta click them. Guys, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Here are the top 10 strangest things found hidden right in plain sight, right in front of us this whole time. Let's do it. Number 10, other worlds. Okay, some things really are right in front of us, below us, or above us. But the human naked eye just can't see it because humans suck just a little bit. For example, the universe is full of wonders. We look up there every night hoping to see a shooting star whiz by in the sea of constellations. But what are we really looking at while we wait? How far away are these other suns? Well, just this year, MIT astronomers discovered new clusters of galaxies that were hiding in plain space sight all along. They thought for the longest time that they were observing a singular galaxy, but 1% of galaxy clusters resemble singular galaxies. Surprise space combo, we love those. The James Webb Space Telescope from NASA launches December 22nd, so it's only a matter of time before we uncover even more. Do we want to know more about space? I mean, really, the more we know, the smaller I feel. Number 9, farmer's gold. Back in 2004, the odds were in these archaeologists' favor. They had popped into a small shop in Debin, Bulgaria, and they wandered in to buy cigarettes initially, but when they left, they were never the same. Sometimes you find gold buried at the bottom of the sea, sometimes you find it in small shops like these. A local, this young woman who was inside the shop at the time, she was rocking a gold necklace that caught their attention. So much so that they had to ask her about it. The woman gladly explained that her husband had gifted it to her previously. He was a farmer who had found that necklace one day plowing the fields. When they got a closer look, they were able to examine the necklace, and it turns out this specific necklace came from the Bronze Age, and the excavations that followed uncovered the rest of the lost gold. Yeah, there was a lot more. So from 2004 to 2007, 20,000 more artifacts were uncovered. I'm talking gold beads, gold necklaces, earrings, hairpins, you name it. I love gold! The moral of this story is to keep your secrets. Next time somebody asks you about your jewelry and you're sitting on a literal gold mine, tell them it's fake. Tell them your husband buys you fake jewelry. Number 8, Superhenge. Stonehenge is great and all, but have you guys heard of Superhenge? What? Located only 2 miles away from Stonehenge lies this beauty. The wild thing here is, right off the bat, that Stonehenge was discovered in the mid-1600s, okay? That was a long time ago. But it wasn't until 2015 that we found this collection of massive stones. It's located right near the Durrington Walls, and researchers believe this Superhenge was part of a massive Neolithic monument. Now, of course, we don't know for sure why these stones are out there and why they're shaped like that, but they're 15 feet tall. They're not easy to move, and they're over 4,000 years old. And of course, they're in a row in one singular long curve. So it looks ominous. It's very peculiar. According to the British Science Festival in Yorkshire, we may need to rewrite what we think we know about Stonehenge. Number 7, Roman art. Okay, if you've seen Superbad, this next one will ring a few bells. Back in the 18th century, when excavations took place in the city of Pompeii, they found lots and lots and lots of ancient art, all with a similar theme. They all looked like eggplants. I'm trying not to say what I want to say. Yeah, there was genitals carved everywhere. And yet carved in there. I'm talking in the streets, in the floors, in the walls, just under a street sign. You'll see one of these guys. Just generations of genitals. Rich, thick history. The phalluses of Pompeii. Imagine tripping over one of these and you do that thing where you look back to see like, oh, what did I just trip on? And then you look back and see one of those. I'd be like, who did this? Who left this here? Many tour guides obviously like to say that they all point and lead to a brothel, which in reality is not the case. These are actually for good luck. Yeah, that's almost a funnier reason, if anything. These symbols were to ward off the evil spirits as well. Most folk kept these outside the front of their homes, just right next to the mailbox. They're like, this one. Number 6, hidden chamber. Ancient Egyptian architecture is mind-blowing to say the least. Even to this day, we're uncovering more secrets and more hidden tombs. Yep, I said hidden tombs. Technology is obviously a helping hand when it comes to learning about our past queens and kings, and for Queen Nefertiti, her final resting place is now believed to be in the secret chamber that lies in King Tut's tomb. Yeah, right there the whole time. What do we know? This was years ago. Egypt's tourist minister Hisham Zazou said the discovery was like the Big Bang. Yeah, no doubt. It's perhaps one of the biggest discoveries of the 21st century. After radar tests were conducted, Egyptian officials were 90% sure that they found a hidden chamber in King Tut's tomb, and we believe it to be one of these lost queens. We're not sure yet. But it's also full of treasure, so that's neat. This whole time, tourists are walking around the pyramids, imagining a life during the construction during that time, and imagining the treasures that laid within. thin. But this whole time, there was a hidden tomb just waiting for us. Perhaps the only shred of good news that we had in 2020. Number 5, a tiny whale. You may be thinking, how does one miss a whale, Taylor? Aren't they insanely large? Yes, even a 20-foot long one, pretty big. Well, when a 20-foot long whale washed up on a beach in Alaska, researchers studied it and then came to the conclusion that this species of whale, specifically called the Baird's beaked whale, but upon further investigation, it's part of an entirely new species of whale. Cool. The only other whale with the same genetic code is found in a nearby high school gym. Nothing like whale bones to keep the teen spirit alive. We love it. Next time you talk shit about your high school mascot, make sure they aren't a rare species of whale. Check yourself, Carson, or whatever your high school name is. Number 4, a tiny bird. Yep, we're talking about tiny birds now. This figurine is incredibly old. It looks like a wooden Monopoly piece almost. It's like really small. And when I say old, I mean old. It was carved 13,000 years ago. And to give you an idea of how old that really is, the pyramids, like I just talked about, aren't even 5,000 years old yet. Yeah, I'm gonna let that sink in. Hit that thumbs up for facts. About half an inch tall, small sculptures like these, perching birds to be more specific, they were quite common in ancient Chinese art forms from the Neolithic age. Back in 1958 at the Linjing site in China, a well was dug out, and the construction crew went about 16 feet down, but unbeknownst to them, the dirt pile that was accumulating held all these secrets to our past. There were ancient tools, sculptures, broken ceramics, you name it. Now, cut to 2005, archaeologists at Shedong University found one of the most important piles of dirt in the world. More importantly, they found this small perched songbird completely unscathed. Keep your eye out for little tiny birds. Number 3, the concho stone. More stones, let's do it. This one is quite large and it's below your feet, so it's not too hard to miss. The concho stone was initially discovered back in the 1930s in Glasgow, Scotland. Also, side note, one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited, and now I have a reason to go back. Love it. See you soon. This stone was excavated and it's pretty old, 5,000 years old as a matter of fact. Now, given the fact that this earth is a little older than that, many years older than that, old rocks don't seem too groundbreaking, pun intended. But this rock measuring at 43 feet by 26 feet have these patterns called cup and ring marks. Now at first, back in the 1930s, researchers thought that these spirals were linked to astronomical phenomena, kind of like how the pyramids were placed after the stars, that type of thing. But archaeologist Kenny Brophy, who was recently taking a crack at the site, another pun, surely intended, he believes it to be ancient artwork. Either way, we love ancient rocks. The more the merrier. Keep digging. Another pun. Number 2, Easter Island. Back between 300 and 1200 AD, Polynesians used canoes, not carnival cruise ships or anything massive. They used canoes, and then somehow they traveled all the way to Easter Island, over 2,000 miles away from Chile, and then these heads appeared. How? That feat in itself is impressive. When you start really thinking about the Easter Island heads that are on this island, it gets more impressive. Where do they come from? The Easter Island Moai statues. Keep in mind there were hundreds at one point. They reach up to 32 feet high and weigh over 82 tons. It was a sight to see until the 1800s, because that's when this civilization just vanished out of the blue. Many of these statues were destroyed during this time, and the population as well was decreased drastically, and the island's higher-ups, be it priests, chiefs, they were all overthrown. Well, what happened to them may give us an idea of what's going to come in the future. Easter Islanders cut down so many trees that before their seeds could enter the earth again, rats ate them. These guys ran out of trees, which means they ran out of rope or the ability to make more canoes, so naturally a civil war began alongside starvation, plus the arrival of Europeans in 1722 didn't help. They immediately wiped out most of the remaining Easter Islanders. Then around the late 1800s, waves of smallpox reduced the amount of island natives to just 100. Sometimes discovering things leads to bad things, but these heads are still impressive, so we have to mention them. And finally, number 1, the London Hammer. Found in 1936, a man named Max Hahn and his wife spotted a strange rock that seemed to have a wooden handle sticking out of it. Okay, I've seen a Marvel movie or two. My next step would be to kind of the thing. Now, of course, they were curious as well, and they went over, they took a closer look, and they realized that this wooden handle was moving a bit, but the rock that was wrapped around it was completely still. Something was stuck inside of it. Now, once the rock was then cracked open, it was revealed that there was a hammer inside the rock. Odin? Thor? Is that you? What's going on here? Whoever finds this may have a long neck. The rock dates back to about 400 million years or so, give or take, which is pretty wild considering that human beings have only really been around for 200,000 years. So what's the deal here? Is this a hammer from the past, or is it a hammer from the future? Is it from Asgard? Does it just look like a hammer? We need answers. Well, this hammer itself is in amazing condition for being as old as it is. Strangely enough, parts of the handle have turned into coal, that's how long it's been. Yet the 96% iron hammerhead has yet to rust. That's CLR, really does the difference, there you go. The hammer is 6 inches long and 1 inch thick, and it doesn't look like it was made by accident at all. The hammer is very similar to the late 1800s man-made tools, so the discovery has us truly stumped. How can something be made that long ago by humans? Makes no sense. Many believe that this is the first piece of evidence that time travel exists, which I don't believe in. Also, how is it still intact? I feel like the wood should have broken off a long time ago. I don't know about this hammer. I don't know what's up with this. If you want a glimpse of the mystery hammer, you can find it on display in the Creation Evidence Museum in Glen Rose, Texas, and then you can decide for yourself. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Most Amazing Top 10. Those are some crazy things found in plain sight. Keep your eyes open, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. I'm Taylor McWaters. Deuces. Man, look at this hair. Hey, give us some thumbs up and I'll cut my hair. How does that sound? Back in 2004, the odds were in these archaeologists. Why the f did I? Way too many E's, Taylor. When they got a closer look, they were able to examine the necklace up close. What the f? According to the British Science Festival in Yorkshire, yeah, a Yorkshire pudding, sir. It's Yorkshire, Jesus. But this rock measuring at 43 feet by 2, but this rock measuring at 53. Then around the late 1800s, waves of smallpox. Then around, oh no.